good, YouTube family? It's your boy Rashad, and we are back again. Got another video. Yo, Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantumania. It's time, baby. I've been waiting a long time for this movie. Look, to be honest with you, I really didn't care that much until I found out that it was going to have Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror. He was known as He Who Remains in Loki, for those who saw Loki, at least toward the end of Loki. And obviously there's going to be a sequel, and you know, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on with that. I'm trying not to spoil it. This is going to be a review for the movie Ant-Man and the Wasp. I haven't seen no other really good movies in a while. The last one I saw in theaters was House Party, and that movie was not good. Trash, even. Not recommended, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the Ant-Man trilogy and the last movie in particular. Spoiler free, so I'm gonna be putting this up probably before most people can see the movie. So I watched the movie Thursday, recording this on Thursday. Okay, so was this movie good? I'm gonna give y'all a quick and dirty. Was it good? Is it worth watching? Yes. That's all you want to know. I guess we're done here. If you want to know some details, then I'm gonna keep going. So definitely better than the second one. The second one sucked. I hated the second one. That movie seemed like it was made on a budget, like low key my budget. Like that's about all. If I took all the money I had and put it into a movie, I seriously think I could probably pull those same special effects off. And I don't know about paying the actors and actresses, but like just look, if I could get them people to do that work for free, then I could definitely afford that budget for Ant-Man 2. The first one I thought was actually pretty good. I hated the second one. I did not like the second Ant-Man movie, but the first one I thought was great. And it was a lot about Ant-Man. This movie, Quantumania, is more so about Kang the Conqueror. It's pretty much like Kang the Conqueror's movie. So it is like some stuff to do, obviously, with Ant-Man. You know, he's the main protagonist. In the Wasp, I mean, she's in it. Right? So she doesn't really do a whole lot, right? But it's mainly Ant-Man. Most of the stuff y'all see from the trailers is most of the good parts. MODOK is in the movie. I can't really get too deep into MODOK because it will spoil the movie if I talk about him too much. So I'm not going to get too deep into him, but MODOK is in the movie. And there's some things about him that were great, some things not so great. In my opinion, he's done okay. I feel like some people are going to say he was terrible. He was most horrible thing that they've ever seen in their life, because people love to exaggerate how bad movies are and everything in them. But he was okay, right? He just wasn't like great. He wasn't like terrible. He was just okay. But Kang was great as a villain. So I'm gonna get more on that kind of toward the end, because I'm probably be talking about him for a while. But the rest of the characters, so you had, of course, Scott Lang as Ant-Man, Hank Pym. You had Hope as, you know, the Wasp, and apparently he has a daughter. So yeah, he had a daughter like in, you know, the first two movies, and in this one she's older and she's a complete pain in the ass. She's pretty much the reason why a lot of stuff happens in the movie. She screws up over and over again. Kind of a common theme. Like a lot of people criticize the Avatar movie, the Avatar sequel, because the kids just kept screwing up. This is worse than that, in my opinion, much worse, because in that movie it kind of made sense, because they were kind of posturing, trying to, like, you know, the kids try to outdo each other all the time. Like the sense of pride and ego is out of this world at that age and into adulthood. But in this movie, it's just like his daughter is just out of control and doesn't listen, and she's annoying as crap. Her lines are cringy. So she's not a good character at all. They wrote her, I'm presuming, to be like that. That's what they wanted it to be with her, but I feel like somebody just wrote it wrong. I don't know. She was just an annoying as crap character. So I didn't like her character at all, and she was a very prominent character in the movie. So, you know, take that as you will. So, and then one of the things about the movie, so the plot starts out with basically they're not in the quantum realm. Somehow or another, they go to the quantum realm, and then they get stuck, and they gotta try to get out. And their only way out is to work with Jonathan Majors, try to get out as Kang the Conqueror. And, you know, obviously that's probably not going to go too well, right? Recipe for disaster, since he is a dimensional universal conqueror. So he's trying to get out for various purposes, and they're just trying to get out so they can go home, right? But in the end, the only way they can get out is by working together. So conflict happens because of that. That's pretty much the whole plot of the movie in a nutshell. And a bunch of stuff happens in between. They meet all these other characters and stuff who are not particularly relevant. They kind of tried to make them a little bit relevant, but they didn't really do that great a job kind of fleshing them out and kind of explaining like what happened to them. They just basically said, Kang conquered us. That's pretty much how it went. Like, he just came through and he had great technology. He conquered everybody in the quantum realm. So he already pretty much took over that realm, and he plans on doing it in other realms because his technology is vastly superior to anything that this world has ever known, apparently. You know, obviously if he can control time and stuff like that and is multiversal and stuff, then obviously he has access to some pretty cool gadgets, right? So Tony Stark, Hank Pym, and Bruce Banner, and Peter Parker, and all of them guys are going to be hella jealous in the future movies, so we'll see how this goes. But anyway, the whole movie, like all the technical aspects of the movie, I thought were solid. So soundtrack is solid, the acting is solid, especially Jonathan Majors, who's a showstopper, a show stealer. Dude is good, really good, and like everything he's in, he's phenomenal. So soundtrack, acting, the CGI, great. Just the overall story was a solid story. The way they told it could have used some improvement toward the beginning. Because toward the beginning, it's kind of like, you know, I kind of want to get to the good. It's like you were waiting for the good part instead of being engaged right then and there where you were at. And I just felt like that was kind of like, you know, they could have did the beginning better. They should have probably rewrote some of that and probably rewrote his entire daughter like character. Just write her better. Or maybe they could have not even had her in it at all, but of course they were gonna have her. Of course, everything is the child's fault, right? So that's pretty much like how this went. Like a lot of stuff in this movie was this kid's fault, even all the way up to the end of the movie. But they had her doing some fighting too. Like there's a lot of engagement in this movie. Like all the protagonists get involved with conflict directly. Now I will say that they did overuse the whole like, you know, characters capture. Like the characters got captured like several times and kind of like, you know, had the guard to the left, well, the left and the right, and they're looking like, okay, I'm gonna steal his gun, steal this guy's gun, and I'm gonna elbow him, then I'm gonna smack this other guy, then I'm gonna grab the gun and shoot this guy. I mean, they did literally that exact thing like a few times in the movie, or some close variation on that a few times. So it was definitely overused, okay? But it's just an observation I made. So it's not that big of a deal, it's just an observation that I made that they kind of overused that. But overall, like most of the action scenes and fights and CGI fights and all this stuff was pretty freaking good. I know some people love to nitpick CGI and stuff, but for me, I thought all of that stuff was great. They had some unique creatures. The quantum realm looked good. You know, I can't even tell, like, for the most part, unless you're using like a really sharp TV like the one I got behind me, you really can't tell like that extreme level of fidelity in terms of CGI. So I'm really not sure what they're talking about. Maybe they're going to better quality theaters than I am. I don't know. But the CGI I thought looked great, and most normal individuals, even if you watch a lot of movies, you're probably not going to really care that much. It looks pretty good. So same old quality that you would expect from Marvel movies. So if you enjoy Marvel movies in terms of like the spectacle, this is par for the course. They didn't really overdo it on the jokes, but they definitely had some really, really cringy lines, mainly from the daughter. You know, she was definitely the worst character, but everybody else was good. Like Ant-Man was good, and they do kind of have some actual Ant-Man related stuff. Like they try to balance it out so it wasn't just like, hey, here's a Kang the Conqueror origin story. It wasn't like that. It kind of was, but it was actually a lot of stuff involving Ant-Man as well, but there were some annoyances with some of the characters. Like the one character who was trapped in the quantum realm, I think it was like, so that's like Scott Lang's wife is Hope. And Hope's mom was trapped in the quantum realm. So she got out of the quantum realm in either in Ant-Man 2 or in some other movie. I'm pretty sure it was Ant-Man 2. And she never said anything about what she knew about the quantum realm. She like apparently lied about it. Now this kind of didn't make any sense. And then when they got to the quantum realm, she still wouldn't tell them anything. It was just kind of annoying. That was like really weird, but eventually you get past all the nonsense and they get to the good part. And once Jonathan Majors comes on screen, everything just starts to get better. So very strong presence as just him being himself, of course. And Kang the Conqueror, extremely villainous, calculated, arrogant as crap, and he can back it up. The unfortunate part of that is dude is ruthless. Like a lot of stuff happens in this movie that I cannot disclose because this is a spoiler-free review, but the dude is ruthless. He's sick. He massacres. Like he's definitely a conqueror. So he lives up to his name. He lives up to the hype himself. Now whether the movie lives up to the hype, I'll tell y'all my opinion, and y'all tell me y'all's later. For me, this wasn't the strongest Marvel movie because they've been so good. Even some of the weakest Marvel movies tower above a lot of other movies in terms of production quality, like the amount of time and effort and money they spend, the amount of big name actors and actresses they have. So this one is somewhere in the middle. So if you're okay with that, strongly recommend it. Now, if you feel like it needs to be as good as Captain America 2 and 3 and Infinity War, it's not that good. I mean, it's a freaking Ant-Man movie, for crying out loud. The main guy, Ant-Man, is not going to be like as good. You knew that from the beginning. But Jonathan Majors is definitely the showstopper here as Kang the Conqueror. The final conflicts are crazy. They really did a good job. So you feel like satisfied by the time it ends, and you want to see more. You want to see more of what's going to happen with this whole multiversal thing. They got the Kang Dynasty movie coming out. So no matter what happens in this movie, you know that somehow or another there's going to be some variation on Kang coming back in Kang Dynasty. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how they flesh this out. There's 2 scenes, a mid-credit, post-credit. Both of them are crazy. Definitely stay to the end, the mid-credits and the post-credit. Definitely stay for both of them. They're really crazy. They're going to kind of show you what's going to happen later on. Both of them are good scenes. There's no gags, no jokes here. Both of them are good scenes to watch. And they directly continue the story. So definitely stay tuned for that. So that's my score, 7 out of 10. I can't give it no higher than that because I feel like they could have done better. You know, there are some things that will probably annoy me if I watch it again. Like, I would definitely watch it again. But I feel like toward the beginning, I'm kind of going to be annoyed. The part I really want to see the most is the second half onward, or like after the first 1/3 of the movie, I want to see the next 2/3 of the movie. That's the part I want to see over and over again. I feel like that was really solid, especially toward the end. A lot of freaking action toward the end, a lot of crazy stuff happening. They just didn't stick the landing 100%, but I got a feeling that they're going to in these next upcoming movies. So I'm really looking forward to seeing more of Kang and whatever other universes he's coming from, or multiple of him, or whatever the heck they're going to do with it. We shall see. Let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter as well if you got a Twitter account. Twitter.com/RashadLamar. Appreciate y'all watching. I'll catch y'all next time.